I said, "You're a good man, Leo. Just not one I can brag about." He said, "Cool," then walked out forever. I'm Chloe. I'm 32 years old, and that is literally the last thing I said to my husband before he ghosted me. Like we were some casual hookup from a dating app, instead of married for 4 years. Looking back, I probably should have seen it coming. We'd been fighting more and more, but honestly, I was just keeping it real. Leo was fine, not terrible, not amazing. Just there. Every Sunday, I'd scroll through my feed. There's Olivia, my best friend, clinking champagne glasses with her husband on another yacht weekend in some sun-drenched paradise. And here I am, stuck in our starter home in the suburbs of Viridia City, the sound of Leo's video game battles echoing from the living room. It wasn't always like this. I mean, when we first met, he had ambition. Or, I thought he did. He was going to get his MBA, work his way up the corporate ladder. All that stuff guys say to impress you. The night before it all went down, I was at dinner at the Gilded Sparrow with my girls, Olivia and Sophie. Sophie's husband, a portfolio manager, had just surprised her with a brand new Range Rover. Not for her birthday, not for an anniversary, just because. Olivia's man had just been made partner at his law firm. So, of course, they were house hunting in Crestwood Hills, that gated community with the perfect lawns and the even more perfect people. Then there was me, sitting there, with nothing exciting to share, except that Leo had finally fixed that leaky faucet in the guest bathroom. After I'd asked for like 3 months. "How's Leo doing at the logistics firm?" Olivia asked, sipping her Sauvignon Blanc. Her eyes held that specific kind of pity reserved for friends you've outgrown. I just shrugged. What was I supposed to say? That he was still in the same mid-level manager position he'd been in for years? Making the same money? With zero prospects of moving up? That we were the only couple in our friend group who hadn't upgraded from our painfully modest starter home? When I got home that night, Leo was on the couch, watching some documentary about deep-sea creatures. Not working on that side hustle idea he'd talked about for years. I opened our banking app, a habit I'd developed lately, compulsively comparing our account balance to what I estimated my friends' husbands made. The numbers stared back at me. So much smaller. So insignificant. That night, I didn't say anything to him. I just added another item to my private document, the one labeled Reasons to Leave. A list I'd started 6 months ago. My little secret, my way of tracking all the ways Leo was falling short. Item 112. Friends' husbands all received promotions or major bonuses this year. Leo is still at the same salary level. The list was getting long. The next morning, Leo was all cheerful, making breakfast like everything was normal. He didn't see me checking my phone, looking at Sophie's pictures from their ski trip to Aspen. He didn't know I was mentally adding up how much their chalet probably cost. More than he made in half a year. "I was thinking we could check out that new hiking trail this weekend," he said, sliding a plate of eggs in front of me. "Weather's supposed to be nice." I looked up at him, at his faded university t-shirt, at his dad bod that was getting more dad by the month, and I thought about the men in my friends' photos. Men with sharp suits and sharper ambitions. Men who took their wives to Paris, not to a dusty trail 20 minutes from home. "Don't you think you should be focusing on that project management certification you talked about?" I said, pushing the eggs around my plate. "The one that could actually help you get ahead?" His smile faltered. Just a little. "I thought we agreed I'd look into that next quarter. When things at work slow down." "Things never slow down, Leo. That's just your excuse." I pulled up the photo of Sophie's new Range Rover. Meanwhile, Sophie's husband just surprised her with this. He glanced at my phone, then back to his coffee. "Good for them. Don't you get it?" My voice was rising now, thin and sharp. "Every single one of my friends is living the life we talked about when we got married. The life you promised me. And what do I have to show for sticking with you? What do I have to brag about when we get together?" The argument escalated from there. Me, listing all his failures. All the ways he was falling behind. Him, getting keter and keter. Until finally, I said those words, the ones I can't take back. "You're a good man, Leo. Just not one I can brag about." He looked at me for a long moment. His face did this thing where all the emotion just drained out. It became a mask. Blank. "Cool," he said. Then he grabbed his keys from the bowl by the door and walked out. I figured he'd gone to cool off. maybe crash at his brother's place. I even felt a little flicker of satisfaction. Like maybe, finally, this would be the wake-up call he needed. I didn't know then that cool would be the last word my husband ever said to me. That night, I updated my reasons to leave document. Item 113. Walks away from problems instead of facing them. I still believed he'd be back. I had no idea what was really happening, because as the door clicked shut behind him, my phone buzzed on the counter. A message from M. I looked down, a small, secret smile touching my lips. I typed back a reply. It's done. I'm free. It's funny how you remember things. I met Leo 5 years ago, at a friend's housewarming party. He was in the kitchen, quietly fixing her broken cabinet door, while everyone else was in the living room doing shots. My ex before him was a musician, all leather jackets and brooding poetry. He left me with 3 maxed-out credit cards and a profound distrust of anyone who owned more than one guitar. So Leo, he seemed like a safe harbor. He worked in logistics, something stable. He owned his car. He talked about a retirement account. When he asked for my number, I figured, why not? The chaotic guys had only led to drama. Normal felt good. For a while, but now, when I tell the story in my head, I edit it. His quiet confidence? I remember it as a lack of charisma. His stability? I call it a lack of ambition. His kindness? I see it as weakness. It's a portrait I've been repainting for a while, swapping out the bright colors for shades of gray, making him smaller in my memory to make my choices feel bigger, more justified. The real truth? The one I don't even write in my secret documents? It started with Marcus. I met him 6 months ago, at a VIP preview at the art gallery, where I work as a curator. He wasn't there for the art. He was there for the networking. He moved through the room like a shark, all tailored suit and predatory charm. He was an investment banker, the kind of man who doesn't just enter a room, he acquires it. He stopped in front of a difficult abstract piece I was standing near. Tell me what I'm supposed to see here, he said, his voice a low hum. It wasn't a question. It was a command. Leo would have said, I don't really get it, but the colors are nice. Marcus wanted to understand its value, its power. We talked for an hour. About art, yes, but really about ambition. About wanting more. About the fact that perception is reality. He understood that. He lived it. He gave me his card. The paper was thick, his title embossed in gold foil. I told myself it was for work. A potential gallery patron. Ali. The first of many. Our business lunches started a week later, at places Leo and I could never afford, places where the menus didn't have prices. He listened to me, truly listened. When I complained about our small house, he didn't say, but we're happy here. He said, a woman like you deserves a better showcase. He made me feel seen, appreciated, not for the quiet home life I was building, but for the glittering potential he saw in me. That's when I created the list for Leo. The upgrade list, I called it. I presented it to him one Sunday morning, neatly typed. Join the executive golf club, take a public speaking course, invest in tailored suits, not just off the rack. Network with executives at your company. I'm just trying to help you reach your potential, I told him, my voice sweet and reasonable. These are the things that separate the guys who stay stuck from the ones who actually succeed. He looked at the list for a long, long time. I thought I was succeeding, he said quietly. I like my job. We have a nice home. We're not struggling. We're not thriving either, Leo, I pointed out. Look at Olivia and her husband. That could be us. If you just push yourself a little. He agreed to try. For me? But his heart was never in it. And my heart was already checking out. It was already reserving a table for 2 with Marcus. My life split into 2. 2 different women, living in 2 different worlds. There was the Chloe who came home to Leo, a dinner of leftover pasta, eaten in front of the TV, the air thick with things unsaid. One night, he was so excited. He'd found a way to optimize a shipping route that would save his company thousands of dollars. He was drawing diagrams on a napkin. Isn't that great? He asked, his eyes shining with a simple, honest pride. I was under the table, on my phone. Marcus had just texted me a picture from a black tie gala. He was standing with the CEO of some tech giant. The caption read, "Wish you were here." I looked up at Leo and his napkin diagram. Yeah, honey, I said, my voice flat. That's great. My thumb was already typing a reply to Marcus. Me too. Tell me everything later. Then there was the other Chloe, the Chloe who existed with Marcus. She wore the silk dress she kept hidden in the back of her closet. She met him for lunch at rooftop restaurants that overlooked the entire city. She drank champagne in the middle of the day. She laughed, a real, full-throated laugh I hadn't used with Leo in years. With Marcus, I wasn't a suburban wife complaining about a leaky faucet. I was a sophisticated curator, a woman of taste, an equal. Or so, I told myself. He gave me a Cartier bracelet one afternoon. A simple, elegant gold band. A little something, he said, clasping it onto my wrist. That night, when Leo asked where I got it, I didn't miss a beat. It was a bonus from the gallery, I lied. For landing a new artist. Leo beamed. He was so proud of me. It made my stomach turn. The lies got bigger. Easier. 3 months into my friendship with Marcus, he suggested a weekend away. A 5-star resort on the coast. I have a gallery retreat, I told Leo, packing a bag with my best lingerie and a new bikini. It's for networking. Really important. He believed me. He always believed me. He even made me a thermos of coffee for the drive. Have fun, he said, kissing me goodbye. Knock 'em dead. That weekend was a dream. Infinity pools. Private dinners on the beach. The thrill of the forbidden. Marcus was attentive. Powerful. He made me feel like the most important woman in the world. I took dozens of photos. Carefully angled selfies of me with the ocean in the background. A shot of my champagne glass against the sunset. I posted them on my feed. Number living my best life, number working hard. The comments poured in from friends. You go girl. So jealous. They were jealous of a life I wasn't really living. A life built on a foundation of lies. And I loved it. I came home on Sunday night, tanned and glowing. Leo had cleaned the whole house. He'd made my favorite dinner. He'd even bought flowers. I missed you, he said, hugging me. I could smell the faint scent of his laundry detergent and his simple, honest soap. I hugged him back, the cold, heavy weight of the Cartier bracelet pressing between us. I missed you too, I whispered. And the scariest part? For a split second, I think I actually meant it. The end came on a Tuesday. Our anniversary. 4 years. I'd forgotten. Of course I'd forgotten. I was supposed to be meeting Marcus for a drink after work. He was closing a huge deal, and we were going to celebrate. I'd been texting him all day, the little thrill of our secret plans buzzing under my skin. I told Leo I had to work late. An inventory check at the gallery. Another easy lie. But Leo, he came home early. He wanted to surprise me. He'd made reservations at the Italian place where we had our first date. He'd even bought me a beautiful orchid, my favorite flower. He came home to an empty house. And my laptop, open on the kitchen counter. I had been sloppy, so arrogant in my deception. I'd been writing an email to Olivia. A long, gossipy email detailing my weekend away with Marcus. Every sordid detail. How amazing the hotel was. How powerful Marcus was in bed. How I was planning my exit strategy from my stifling marriage. I hadn't sent it. I'd just walked away from the screen, leaving my secret world exposed. When I walked through the door at 7 o'clock, humming a little tune, the orchid was on the counter, next to my open laptop. Leo was sitting at the table. Just sitting, staring at the screen. He didn't look up. Who is Marcus? He asked. His voice wasn't loud. It wasn't angry. It was hollow, emptied out. That was so much worse. This is the part of the story I usually skip, the part I erase. In my version, the version I've perfected, the fight starts because of money, because of his lack of ambition, because I deserved more. But that's not what happened. Faced with the undeniable proof of my betrayal, I didn't apologize. I didn't cry. I attacked. You wouldn't even know who Marcus is if you weren't snooping on my private things. I snapped, my voice sharp with panic. It was open, Chloe. He finally looked at me. His eyes. I'd never seen them look so old. On the counter, you wrote that I was stifling you. Well, aren't you? I shot back, the words tasting like poison. When was the last time you did something exciting? Something ambitious? I'm suffocating here, Leo. While everyone else is moving forward, we are standing still. I have to find excitement somewhere else because you refuse to provide it. I was building my case. Deflecting. Turning my infidelity into his failure. It was cruel. It was masterful. He just shook his head, a look of profound disbelief on his face. This isn't about the money, is it? Or my job. You just, you don't respect me. Respect has to be earned, I yelled. What am I supposed to respect? Your high score on a video game? The fact you're happy being mediocre? I want a partner, Leo, not an anchor. And that's when I saw it. The last flicker of hope in his eyes dying out. He stood up. The chair scraped against the floor. The sound was deafening in the silence. He walked past me towards the door, and that's when I delivered the final blow. The line I had practiced in my head. The one I thought would be my closing argument. The one that would prove I was right all along. You're a good man, Leo, I said, my voice dripping with condescending pity. Just, not one I can brag about. He stopped at the door, his back to me. He didn't turn around. I saw his shoulders tense. Cool, he said. The word was a chip of ice, and then he was gone. The confrontation wasn't about the list, or the Range Rover, or Crestwood Hills. It was about my betrayal, and in my shame, I made it about his failure. It was the only way I could live with myself. The first 24 hours, I felt liberated. The lie was over. The double life was done. I called Marcus, my voice breathless with excitement. It's over, I said. He knows. He left. There was a pause on the other end of the line, not the triumphant cheer I was expecting. Whoa, he said. His voice was suddenly cautious. Chloe, let's pump the brakes a little. Pump the brakes? What are you talking about? This is what we wanted. I'm free. I thought we were just having fun, he said. The words were a slap in the face. I mean, my career is insane right now. And you're going through a lot. It's all a bit intense, don't you think? Intense. He called me intense. After 3 months of secret meetings, whispered promises, and a shared hotel bed, I realized, in that sickening moment, that I had never been the destination for him. I was just a thrilling detour. He loved the excitement of the affair, the ego boost of stealing another man's wife. He had no interest in dealing with the messy, inconvenient reality of a divorce. He made some excuse about a conference call and hung up. He never called me back. The next blow came from Olivia. I called her, ready for a sympathetic ear, a girl's night with wine and angry venting. Her voice was cold, distant. Chloe, she said, and I could hear the judgment in her tone. We need to talk. It wasn't a conversation. It was a verdict. Leo's brother called my husband. He told us everything. About Marcus. My blood ran cold. He's twisting things. Is he? Olivia cut me off. Honestly, Chloe, we all saw this coming. The way you talked about Leo at dinner parties. The constant complaints. It was embarrassing. And now we know you were cheating on him the whole time? It's just cruel. You don't understand, I pleaded. I was so unhappy. You were unhappy with your life, so you destroyed his, she said. I think we need some space. Sophie feels the same way. Click, just like that. My entire support system, gone. The friends whose lives I envied, whose approval I craved, had judged me, and found me wanting. The silence in the house became a physical presence. It was suffocating. For the first time, I was truly alone, and the reality of my choices began to set in, sharp and merciless. The mortgage, which had been a shared, manageable expense, was now a mountain I had to climb on my own gallery salary. The credit card bills, filled with evidence of my double-life dinners at the Gilded Sparrow, the hotel on the coast arrived like summonses. One rainy afternoon, I walked into a sterile, brightly lit pawn shop. The kind of place I'd only ever seen in movies. I pushed the Cartier bracelet across the glass counter, the one Marcus had given me. The man barely looked at it. He named a price that was a fraction of what it was worth. I took the cash without arguing. I used it to pay the electric bill. The irony was so bitter, it felt like I could choke on it. I had traded a man's unconditional love for a gold bracelet. And in the end, all the bracelet could buy me was another month of electricity in an empty, silent house. A month passed. Then 2. The official-looking envelope arrived on a gray morning, from a law firm I didn't recognize. Inside were the divorce papers. I sat at my kitchen table, the same table where Leo used to draw his silly diagrams, and I read the sterile, legal language that was dismantling my life. And then I saw it, printed in stark, black ink under the section for cause. Grounds for divorce. Adultery. There it was. The one truth I couldn't spin. The fact I couldn't edit out of my story. It wasn't about his ambition. It wasn't about my boredom. It was about my betrayal. And for the first time, I didn't try to argue with it. I just let the ugly truth of it wash over me. A few weeks later, I ran into an old colleague from my first job. A sweet woman named Anna, someone from before my life, became a performance for Olivia and Sophie. We made awkward small talk. Then she said, "Oh, I heard about Leo. It's amazing what he's doing." My heart stuttered. "What do you mean?" "He quit that logistics firm," she said, her eyes bright with admiration. "Started his own consulting business. Something about supply chain optimization. My brother's company just hired him. Apparently, he's a genius. He's saving them a fortune. He seems really happy." Happy. He was thriving, not by following my list, but by following his own path. The path I had dismissed as boring and mediocre. It turned out the only thing holding him back was me. That conversation was the final crack in the mirror I had been holding up to myself. The reflection was distorted, ugly. I couldn't look at it anymore. That night, I did something I hadn't done in months. I logged into my Instagram account. I scrolled through the feed. Olivia on a private jet. Sophie showing off a new diamond necklace. 100 curated squares of perfect lives. It all looked so fake, so empty. A gallery of beautiful lies, just like mine had been. My finger hovered over the screen. I didn't just unfollow them. I went to my settings. And with a final, decisive tap, I deactivated my entire account. Erased the whole performance. The screen went blank. Tonight, I'm sitting in the living room. The divorce papers are on the coffee table, waiting to be signed. The house is quiet, not the peaceful quiet it used to be with Leo, but a heavy, echoing silence. It's filled with the ghosts of my choices. There's no easy ending here. No redemption arc where Leo takes me back. No epiphany that makes all the pain go away. I threw away something real for something that looked good in a picture. I broke the heart of a good man because he wasn't a shiny object I could show off to my friends. And now, I'm alone, in a house that's too big, with a silence that's too loud. I don't know what comes next. But for the first time, in a long, long time, I am not lying. Not to anyone, and especially not to myself. The bragging is over.